Coming up, it's 2019, so we decided, hey, let's look forward to 2019. Not a bad idea if I do say so myself. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Universal edition of The Diz Unplugged. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Universal episode. I am your host, Craig Williams. Today, I am joined alongside by my co-host, my friend, my pal, my confidant.
Lover.
My lover.
That's what I thought you were going to say. And I was like, don't give them more fodder.
He's gentle. His name's Ryno.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. Hello. Yes, everyone. We are back. It is 2019. Sorry for that little bit of an extended break.
I'm not sorry for it.
Yeah, you know what?
We deserve time.
Yeah.
It was the holidays. We deserved it.
Yeah, no. We absolutely did deserve it. So some of you out there might not feel that way because it has been, basically, did we release our last episode on the 13th, maybe? Maybe, I think it was that.
It was the week after the Disneyland one, Disney World one, yeah.
Yeah, so the 13th, I believe, was maybe even a lot. You know what? That's semantics. It doesn't really matter. It's been a long time since we've been around, and we are back now, though, and we have not a lot to talk about. Well, I mean, I guess a little bit to talk about here, but not a lot to talk about, really. Just a couple little things to talk about. Well, let's give them something to talk about. It's all fine. We're going to talk about Universal Orlando in 2019, and we're only going to talk about specifically 4 topics because there are 4 definites in this crazy world that is Universal and what's going to happen. There are 4 things we know for sure. There's more than that, but 4 things that I would consider very important events. So VIEs, if you will say that I think that we really need to focus on for what's happening this year in terms of Universal. So we are definitely going to do that this episode, and we're going to have fun while we're doing it. So it's going to be a fun way to start off the year coming back. And it was a news story just days and days and days ago. So it actually works out that we can talk about it now on this show. It's kind of like a news story wrapped in our larger discussion of 2019, and that is we're kicking off with Universal Mardi Gras 2019. Ryno, how pumped are you for this?
Fairly pumped.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, like a basketball sneaker in the 90s. I am pumped.
Yep, just slightly pumped.
They released the we getting a new parade, yeah?
Yeah, well, let's start at the beginning before even that. When does the event start? When's it return?
February 9th. Okay. Yep. Through April
4th. I feel like we're on Saturday Night Live, Fred Armisen and
Getty.
They would sing the songs together, but they wouldn't, and they just try to say the same word at the same time.
Yeah.
That's what we just did there. But yeah, no, it's returning February 9th through April 4th with nightly parades. Live concerts will be on the select nights, so those weekend dates that we'll talk about. Food will be back, fun, drinks, beads. Yes, you're welcome. Yeah. I always find a way to bring it back around to that.
Life finds a way.
Life does find a way. It's funny you say that.
Is one of our things Jurassic Park related?
Nope, absolutely not. But there's a lot happening in Jurassic Park right now. Just we're not going to talk about it on this one. We're talking about the 4 keystones, in my opinion, of 2019, the 4 keystones of what's happening this year. But yeah, one more time, in case you didn't pay attention the first couple times, February 9th through April 4th. Some massive names in the music. Well, maybe massive to you, not so massive to other people. Who are we going to start off by mentioning?
Steve Miller Band.
See, that shocked me. I figured you would. We were on the same wavelength of who we have to say is coming here because of my deep
Gavin DeGraw.
my deep rooted hatred for this person and everything he stands for.
Oh, Pitbull. Yeah. They didn't even put his photo on the website. They literally just have him with the crown next to it too. So it's like, yeah.
As they shouldn't.
I feel like Pitbull will do anything in Florida, from Central Florida to Miami.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of people from South Florida coming up for Pitbull, and there's going to be more. They were expecting like a parade of white pants when Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon opened up. But funny enough, it's actually going to happen when Pitbull performs. There's going to just be white pants galore. You have white pants.
I have white jeans that I'm just waiting to wear.
Yeah, you're waiting to hit the back-to-back. It's a twofer. You'll go on Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon with your white pants, and then you'll go out and watch Pitbull perform.
I'm breaking them out, yeah.
Well,
wait, is Pitbull when it's too hot outside and I can't wear pants anymore?
We don't know. Seasonal. Weather is seasonal. It's March 24th. So
it's right in the middle there. Yeah.
So why don't we just actually run through the entire concert lineup? So on February 9th, Bush returns. Not their first year doing this. You might remember them for some of their beautiful music that they did in the 90s, and nothing to deal with Gwen Stefani. And
not anything noise. He was not in Constantine. Gavin Rossdale was in Constantine. Okay.
Yeah, I understand that. So it's I would love. I listened to Bush 16 Stone. Like that was one of the.
I was not a big Bush fan. I was more into like live. Yeah. I always felt like you had one or the other. I mean, I guess you could have liked both, but who are we?
I mean, people. That's who we are. February 16th is Gavin DeGraw. So
I'm pretty excited for this, actually.
Yeah, I have seen him here. No, I haven't seen him actually before.
I thought this was a first for him. No,
it might be a first for him. I feel like, who's the other one that I do see at Universal every time he comes?
Macklemore.
No, it's the one. It's the one that won.
Howie Day.
No, the one who was
Philip
on American Idol. Philip Phillips. Thank you. I knew we'd get there eventually. It's like, let's just keep naming white guys who play guitar. We'll get there eventually. Yeah. So no, it'll be my first time seeing Gavin DeGraw as long as I'm in town, and I think Kylie would be very excited about that. I have one of his albums from way back in the day.
The original. We all have it. You should.
I think I might have two actually.
I think I might have a second one. I might have more than that, actually. But I was a big fan of them because he was one of those artists where also Maroon 5 was like this for me, where I was listening to them. Like, I had heard a song on this random radio station, and they had played Follow Through. And I was like, oh, I'm going to look this guy up. And the album, like, back in the day, this was 2003, so CDs were... If they were like, you didn't really know who they were, you could get the CD for like $10 or under. Yeah. And if you knew if like they were popular, it'd be like $15, you know? So it was like the deal. And I remember Gavin DeGraw's CD was like $8 or something like that. And I was like, oh, I'll buy this. And then I forget what his first single was. The I don't want to be anybody other than
I don't want to be anything other than
that was it. And then Follow Through was like his third single off of here, and they're like, new single, and I'm like, that's his first single. I was so angry.
See, I didn't like him until the next album. That was the one with Chariot, right?
No, Chariot was on that
the
one
name
too? Of this album.
Okay, actually, never mind then. Yeah, then
it might be Gavin DeGraw is the name of it. I don't remember, but Chariot is definitely on there.
Okay, yeah, but he's there February 16th. The next night on the 17th, Dan and Shay.
I don't know who they are.
Neither do I. So can we get a genre look up real quick?
Yes.
While I sit here awkwardly saying, you know what, Dan and Shay sounds like a duo.
They were in one of my textbooks from school, I think. Like, that's why I was like, am I supposed to know who they are? Oh, this is why we don't know who they are. Can you guess the genre?
Canadian.
Yep. No, American country music duo.
That would explain it. So
I've seen people with the bumper stickers and stuff. I just didn't know who they.
Oh, yep. I know what you're talking about now. So yep, it fits country. It's really out of my realm.
Yeah.
The next week on February 23rd, Macklemore. So we all know who Macklemore is. We don't need to talk anything more about Macklemore. Easily, he is the marquee person in this entire series. He is the go-to of that. So. Very exciting that they got him back another time.
I'd argue it would be between him and Pitbull. I know we don't like Pitbull, but Pitbull's award-winning song, I'm making that up. I'm sure his mom printed out an award for him, but his single from Aquaman is apparently doing very well in the meme territory because they're like, what's the least amount of words I could say in a song but get paid the most amount of money for it? Turns out it's that song from Aquaman.
Hey, Florida's unofficial official hospitality ambassador.
Yeah.
Former. I don't remember what all that was, but that was crap. March 2nd, still to be announced, the day before my birthday. They better pull someone out as a birthday present for me.
That is Bare Naked Ladies.
I love Bare Naked Ladies there, so if that is the case, then you know what? I'll be out there singing, "It's been one week
since you looked at me." And we'll be like, hey, that guy's not in the band. And you'll be like, we have this discussion every year.
I can't wait till they play Big Bang Theory.
And they do.
Yeah, they do. March 9th, Becky G.
I'm actually pretty excited for Becky G.
She is a rapper / entrepreneur.
What? She's the Yellow Power Ranger.
She is the Yellow Power Ranger.
From the 2017 Power Ranger movie.
And her genre is?
She's a, I believe most of her songs are in Spanish, but she is a pop, Spanish genre, R&B, hip-hop, Latin dance pop.
Well, I feel like we can still call her an entrepreneur too. So there's that. March 10th, Sean Paul, another rapper / entrepreneur.
I don't like Sean. I like singles with Sean Paul, but when we saw Sean Paul last year, I was like, the studio does you well, sir.
He's the Jamaican one, right?
Yeah, shake that thing, Miss Gala shake that. Jordy and Rebecca.
Rapper / entrepreneur.
Everybody can be an entrepreneur. Yes, they could have all had lemonade stands at some point in their life that collapsed and folded, but it still made them an entrepreneur.
Okay, so March 16th, Steve Miller Band. You might remember them from back in the day when they were also rappers and entrepreneurs. But
I thought Steve Miller Band was like a Massachusetts exclusive band. I didn't know it was I thought it was like a regional band, and I was like,
I believe that would be Aerosmith.
Well, I went to school with somebody named Steve Miller too, so at first for a couple of years I thought it was make believe.
I've seen Steve Miller Band a couple years back at SeaWorld, and you know what? They still have it. It's if you're confused about Steve Miller Band because you're from our generation and not the previous generation, you know them from their hit song "Fly Like an Eagle" from Space Jam, the Joker.
No, Fly Like an Eagle is the Steve Miller Band?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Or if you're a fan of that awful Steve Carell magician movie, Abracadabra, that is his theme song in that with Steve Buscemi.
Oh.
So, the Incredible Burt Wonderstone, I believe, is what it's called. If I'm doing it off the top of my head. I love Steve Miller Band. He's one of those artists that you kind of forget about how many hits he has. Go On, Take the Money and Run. Just it's my genre. I love it. So hopefully I'll be able to catch Steve Miller Band. If not, then it'll be a Steve Miller Band Don't. March 17th, Ziggy Marley. So that's going to be a fun one. Just, I don't have much else to say about Ziggy Marley. So don't love him. Don't hate him. He'll just be there and be a part of me. Yeah. Rapper and entrepreneur, by the way, too.
I don't think so.
Okay. Here, you're going to have to look up this one because I'm very confused about it. On March 23rd, NF.
NF. No idea. As in NFC. No. But I looked it up. He's an American rapper. And this little white boy is, maybe an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I don't see it on his Wikipedia page, but he's a Christian, it says
Odds are
here.
good.
But does not consider himself a Christian rapper. Interesting. Okay, that took a twist because the photo I have of him and like the photos I saw on the internet don't add up to what I just read here. But
so we're talking like a T Swift situation where it's I'm a country artist and then oh no, I'm a pop star, and now I'm not a pop star who did country. I mean, well, I guess that's what
he's not a pop star. No,
he's
just straight up hip hop or Christian hip hop.
And entrepreneur.
Probably, I imagine.
So, the next one, of course, March 24th, we're back to that. Pitbull, again, rapper / entrepreneur from South Florida.
Mm-hmm. I think Pitbull actually is an entrepreneur. I think he has like tequila or something.
Oh, I'm sure he does, and I'm sure it's terrible.
Some sort of liquor.
It's probably rum. He seems like a rum guy. That's what they drink in Miami. Maybe. I don't know. And then March 30th and 31st are still to be announced, so... That's very exciting. Could be anyone. Could be you. Could be me.
It was vodka.
It was vodka. Okay, that makes sense. You know those Miami people like watching their calories. Rum has too much sugar in it. I don't know. That's not accurate. I'm Scotch and bourbon. Scotch and
mumbling
bourbon.
words.
Okay, so that's how you spend 20 minutes talking about musical artists, and now we'll spend 30 minutes talking about the new nighttime parade. Yeah, so the nighttime parade, the Mardi Gras parade with authentic floats, will continue rolling down the streets every single night. 12 floats, beads, dancers, stilt performers, and this theme is actually a ton of fun. You know what the theme is?
No.
Can you brace yourself for this? You're going to love it.
Is it Harry Potter?
No. It's party animals.
Oh. That does seem fun.
Yeah, so there's going to be
float.
Yeah, there's well, and we'll go over like the ones that we know from the photos that was released through Universal, but like there's one float that's like Arctic animals, so there's a whale and penguins and a polar bear and a walrus on it. It's just really neato bejito. And then the what I would believe would be the Indian float of sorts, as in India, the country. There's a big tiger on the front, and there's like a temple and an elephant, and there's monkeys swinging from the back. So very, very cool. And then there's a bird float, because why wouldn't there be a bird float filled with peacocks and birds? I'm not a birdologist, so I really don't know what half these birds are. I'm pretty sure it's what they're called. So I'm not one of those, though, so I can't really help you too much on that. But,
ornithologist. I knew it was something weird.
Doesn't seem right still.
Do I make you orny, baby?
Well, I'll tell you what animals do have horns, and that's bees and
beads.
So this is going to be
wait. This is the float you can throw. The bee float you can throw beads from.
The bees throw.
You better believe we'll be on this one.
Exactly. So we're talking honeycomb. We're talking a queen bee. Not Beyonce. I'll tell you that much. But still a queen bee on top. A snail on the back.
That's for the slowpokes. You know what the snail always reminds me of, actually, is that fast snail from Fantasia. Not Fantasia. Never-ending Story. Remember the speedy snail?
See, I thought you were going with that movie that was all about the snails who were fast. Was that it?
Yeah, I think he was the voice of that snail.
I also like the one from Monsters University that Bill Hader voices. Like, my first day of school. It's a good time. Okay, moving on from that float, we have the ocean float, man, which features a sea turtle, a fish, a seahorse, and nautical nonsense, but no SpongeBob. It does be something I wish, though.
Or a Patrick, I don't know. Okay. Oh, you said there was a starfish.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. No, a seahorse. I said starfish. I think I meant seahorse. I don't remember what I said. Followed up, we're going down to the swamps. We're going to the bayou, which makes sense because you get all that.
They said Le Bon Temps Roulette.
Exactly. You get that New Orleans style with it. This is super offensive to anyone of Cajun or Creole dialect, as well as anyone from New Orleans or Louisiana. But yeah, the swamp float. I think this is the float that will break the internet. There's a big party frog at the front.
I like him. He's got a little crown.
He does have a little crown, as most of the animals do on the floats. You got some. Would that be crawfish or shrimp?
I think there's both. No.
That's
a crawfish.
That's a crawfish, and then also shrimp, and then of course a gator because it's in the swamp, and just really neat. So really think the designs this year look pretty cool, and obviously they always pay off with what then we see in person.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're even
I'm gonna
better.
wear a crown this year to the event.
Is that a little too bold?
No, I'm going to get into it. Fully brace myself.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So the great thing about Mardi Gras, as always, if you just buy your day admission ticket, all of this is included. Even if you go on the days that a musical artist is performing on any of those nights we talk about, if you buy that park admission for that day, it is included. If you have the best annual passes that have no blockout dates, you're going to be able to experience all of this. So definitely an awesome event, something we're really looking forward to. And it is going to come up and sneak behind us and catch us by surprise way sooner than I think we expect. But moving on, the next thing I want to talk about is a little little something because we're going to go. Should we go chronologically or should we go by importance?
Chronologically. I think it'll be less confusing for people.
The brand new Harry Potter roller coaster that is coming to Islands of Adventure.
I am so
That should be the
excited.
next thing we expect. Yeah. No, this is. I mean, we're talking. This is going to be the marquee attraction, and we know. Like you can see from some of the amazing. Well, there's only one bioreconstruct. The man is a formidable monster that seems to be spending more time in helicopters than he is
seriously.
anything else. Delivering all these aerial shots, so you watch the progress and how this roller coaster is being built up. It is just so absolutely incredible seeing how it's been coming together over time, and then hearing about the elements that are supposed to go in it, from some of the huge animatronics that could potentially pop up in there, and just the different roller coaster effects that are going to be in there that we don't really have, at least at Universal and Disney. Some that are close by, but like the whole drop down aspect that is going to be in it. It's like there's going to be so many cool aspects. So I am super pumped about this attraction. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff happening in Orlando as a whole in 2019, but this is easily up there for me as
heck yes.
one of the best things, especially the best at Universal, but just in all of Orlando. It's going to be Nito Bajito. No, I say Bajito. Yeah, that's me. So, moving on from there, August 1st, we'll see the new Universal Resort opening up, and that's Universal's Endless Summer Resort Surfside Inn and Suites. And yeah, this is, of course, if you don't remember, this is going to be the first super value hotel, true value hotel at Universal Orlando, starting from $73 a night for their standard guest rooms and $111 for their 2-bedroom suites that they'll have in there. And again, the reason for this is because it's actually not right on the main Universal Orlando campus, as they repeated to us over and over again at the, I want to say, Aventura Hotel event. They said campus 93 times.
Yeah.
So,
And I was like, are they building a college here?
yeah, the College of Universal. So this is going to be across the road I-4 on the old Wet and Wild location, and this is part 1, and then part 2, of course, will be the dockside and in suites. So this is going to just be the first side of it. We've talked about this hotel before over and over again, as announcements have been coming out with it, but it's something to definitely get excited about. So especially, like I just mentioned, you have the Potter coaster that's going to be opening up this year. It's like, oh well, I'd kind of like to come down and see it. Maybe I can't afford a whole big expensive vacation. Maybe you get lucky if you wait until later on, hit that slow point right in between summer being over and then the start of Halloween Horror Nights, and be able to sneak into Endless Summer for a really great deal. So you can see a new hotel, a new attraction. You're getting the best of everything right there, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. So we'll see what they do with it. I mean, yes, it's value because it's further away, but is it still going to have all the beautiful details you expect from a Lowe's hotel and Universal
great.
property? Yeah.
So from what I've seen so far, but
Well, and I've been driving by and seeing the construction as it's been going on throughout all this time, and it's progressing along very, very quickly. So could be exciting. And finally, I just mentioned it right before, the fourth keystone of 2019 is Halloween Horror Nights. And I said that little bit of time between the end of summer and the beginning of Halloween Horror Nights, well, that gap definitely shrunk this year, because Universal is going to be kicking off Halloween Horror Nights earlier than ever before.
I'm excited for this.
Yes, so this year it's going to be started on September 6th, the first weekend of September.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's been awesome to watch at least the getting early and earlier as I've been going to Halloween Horror Nights, because I remember when it was later on, and then third weekend, and then the second weekend, and now all of a sudden the first weekend. So September 6th running through November 2nd. I looked at the calendar for last year, and I, based on like what dates we had last year, knowing we had one less weekend, and I kind of did the math based on it. I can't remember the number I pulled up for it now. It's somewhere back on one of the articles I wrote for it, but we're talking a lot of extra nights, because basically this past year it ran very consecutively, boom, 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 every single night. The only time that there was a weird closing was the night that Microsoft had an event. And it was like, so you had a night on Wednesday, and then it was randomly closed on Thursday, and then started back up again on Friday. So without that actually happening, it's, if they go consecutively, based on the math that I was doing and hoping that we could hope for it running for 42 nights. And
I'm definitely going to get my frequent fear pass again, like we had this year, that included the Fridays.
Yeah, I will be honest. I think we kind of talked about it at the end of last year's show. This year, I think I'm finally going to give in. And
you're going to get the
Express.
Saturday one? Oh, you're going to buy the Express.
Yeah, Saturday I don't need.
For me, it's the problem with not getting, and it does essentially more than double the price of the pass. However, my difficulty with it is you got to get somebody else to have it, or you're never going to use it.
Yeah.
No. I mean, unless you're just going by yourself all the time like you do. But like,
I do not. Most of the time last year, I went with either you or my sister. Yeah. Randomly, my wife. Every now and then, Sean, who you remember as my original co-host on this show, we'll even go together sometimes. So, my sister and I basically decided we're going to get that pass anyways. Kylie would always meet up with me early, and then she would want to leave like 2 hours into the event. Yeah. So it's like, that's the point. When she would leave, that's the point where I'd want to start using Express. I don't need it for those first couple hours.
I like the idea of adding the Express, because then it doesn't, like, I feel like the way we attacked it this year and the way you attack it, that is becoming more and more obvious that that's how you have to do it to get the most out of it, is having to be there and that sundown and that burning on my skin. But if you have Express, you could just, since we live I live even closer than you, but we could just kind of go be like, it's 10 o'clock, let's go now, because we know everyone's leaving and the weather's a little bit nicer because it's done raining and maybe it's a little bit cooler, and we can go like 10:30 to like 1 or something.
No, last year, and that was it. Last year, the strategy was, okay, well, I'm going to go for Stay and Scream, and then I'm going to get hot. I'm going to get tired. Yeah. It's going to get busy, so I'm putting all this effort in to do like 6 or 7 houses, but a lot of times it was the same 6 or 7 houses, and then it was like, okay, it's too busy by 7:30, time to get out. And I don't want that to be my experience this year. I think that's why, despite loving the houses, I didn't have the greatest like energy and emotion going into it as I have in the past before. So I'm really not looking forward to spending the money, but I'm going to start putting aside money each month. It's $30 extra, and right there, that's going to pay for the upgrade in pass. At least if I do it correctly. And who knows? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But we know that we're probably going to see some staples return, like Academy of Villains will most likely be back. And I think we can expect the next evolution in Stranger Things. And we've talked about it a little bit before. Ryno would love a Sabrina house. I would love Hill House.
I want Gremlins.
Yeah, well, not going to happen.
I want the Gremlins.
Blame Warner Brothers for starting their own Halloween event.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. We're never going to get any of that stuff now.
Especially when they're all excited. I went on the Warner Brothers tour when I was out in Hollywood, and they, anytime there was anything Gremlins related, it seemed like they pointed out, you see that? You see that alley staircase that leads down there?
That's true. They did point it out a lot. Yeah.
It's and then you get excited when you go into the Gilmore Girls Town Square, and they're like, I know you want to be excited, but if you want to see that area of Gremlins, you have to go over to Universal. And that's like, well, I already know that, but how many people come on this tour and say, you know what, Gremlins, Gremlins, Gremlins? That's what I want the most. I mean, I guess basically just you and me, but whatever happens for Halloween Horror Nights, based on the effort and the effort and enthusiasm they put into it in 2018, I have no doubts but to say that 2019 should be a rousing success for them, and I'm super excited about 2020 and another big milestone for the event. So it's going to be a blast in the past.
A Brendan Fraser themed house.
I shouldn't say that. That's not what it's going to be. Yeah, Brendan Fraser house. Just Alicia Silverstone.
Looney Tunes. You've got Alicia Silverstone. I was thinking his whole film franchise. It starts out with like sort of an Encino Man going through the ice,
and it ends with the mummy
squeezing the juice.
Yeah. Terrible. So those are the 4 events that 4 milestones of keystones, however I've been saying it this entire episode, that we're excited about in 2019. Again, there's going to be so much more happening throughout the year, and we're going to get announcements of it. You know, you have Rock the Universe, we have the holidays that'll happen later on in November. There's going to be more than just that, but as of this date, those are the 4 things that I think are the most exciting aspects of Universal in 2019. So whatever ones you're excited about, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave it, let us know in those comments below. And if you're listening to this on iTunes, of course, pull over your car first, or from running, or wherever you're listening from, and you can always send us an email, uopodcast@disunplug.com, or even better, to save you some time, you can tweet at us at either Diz Universal, Ryno1185, or Teleclaster.
It's Ryno, RYNO.
Yes.
Not RHINO.
Yeah, and not RENO, because I seen that one.
I think that's an autocorrect. That I think every time you type Ryno, like RYNO, it autocorrects to Reno. So I'm the biggest little mistake you'll ever make.
Yeah. Funny. Yeah, reach out to us on any of those.
I didn't care for what that just implied either.
Reach out to us on any of those platforms, whether it's our personal or, like I said, Diz Universal, the official one for everything we do with Universal. So it's all out there. We will get it anyways. But that's it for this episode. We'll be back with you next week for another episode. But until then, I tried to close it out. I didn't say all the other stuff. So you know what? Hey, if you need more information on this show and many others on the Diz Unplugged Podcast Network, head over to disunplug.com for show notes, links to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, our email address, which is yoopodcast@disunplug.com, and so much. Well, no, I always say so much more, but really, that's just about it, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. But it is there. It is there, I promise you. Also, where do I go after this? I always say that. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's been so long since we've done this. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You'll probably unhit it if you already hit it after this episode. Hit that thumbs up or hit that thumbs down. Again, probably will after this episode, and leave those comments below. Love that feedback. If you're listening to this on iTunes, go ahead, subscribe, rate us, and leave us fun reviews to read about how terrible we are, especially this episode. Remember, this episode will be titled Rappers and Entrepreneurs, if you're looking for the exact episode title in particular. But thank you so much to everyone out there for listening and watching to this. We do it for you. We really appreciate it. Sorry we've been gone so long, but the rest was well needed. Thank you, Ryno, for being here today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you once again, everyone. That's going to do it for this week. We'll be back with you next week for another episode of the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition. But until then, remember, we still have not changed the name.